are live from tillage tractor, 9R. We're running the field cultivator, working some ground near our Berkey farm. Technically, I think this is a Sylvania, Ohio address. We are right on the edge of civilization. Over there, you see the housing development. That's a fun one for us. And it's dried off considerably in the last day. The fact that I'm in a tillage tractor today, after yesterday I told you we were going to get severe storms last night and a whole bunch of rain, might be surprising, but it means that we missed the rain. We missed it last night. Totally missed it. And so, this afternoon here, after giving things a little bit more time this morning to dry out, we decided to get started. I started in the disc just down the road, a half a mile here. Dan came and took over for that for me after we decided it was running good. And I came over here to run the field cultivator. Hopefully we get the corn planter out here later today. Phil is planting beans in the same field Dad's discing in just down the road. So things are happening today, finally. It's a good thing. There is some clouds building. There is a chance of rain again tonight. Now, here at Berkey, we've gotten awfully fortunate and basically missed it 3 days in a row. Can we get lucky and miss it a fourth? I don't know. Now, they're not calling for near as much. It looks like maybe a couple tenths, quarter inch, something like that. So it's possible we get some rain tonight, but I'm hoping that we miss it. If we miss it, the next 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all look good, and we should get done planting here at Berkey at least. Hopefully the last cornfield back to Waldron will be done, and we'll make some progress on the beans back there as well. But that remains to be seen, so we'll do what we can as we can, and I decided that we needed to try and get something done today in case it does rain tonight, and sets us back for tomorrow. So anyway, I'm going to do my best to lead you guys up there where you can see everything that's happening behind me, right? Yeah. It's very dusty. You can't see much anyway, but it makes it hard for me to read comments when you're up there. So I do my best. Right off for you. Thank you. You're lucky in Ontario. We got hammered. Yeah. So that rain that came through last night, I kind of checked the radar right before I went to bed around 11 last night, and there was a really heavy line of showers. Basically in western Michigan. It just made it through Chicago. It extended down into Indiana a little bit, but you can see it was shrinking and moving to the north, and so I'm like, that might miss us. But it was several hours away from us, and I thought, well, we'll see what happens when it gets here. And, thought it would wake me up at least, and I woke up at 5 this morning and checked my rain gauge on the phone, and we got nothing. Yes! So we missed it. Now I talked to a buddy of mine, the guy at Warehouse 4, he lives up around Marshall, Michigan. They had an inch and a half of rain last night, so it was just the extreme southern part of the state. You really were Ohio here, so yeah, we got pretty lucky. I feel for you guys that aren't getting as lucky, because I know it sucks. I mean, we've been sitting basically for 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks now. Today is 16th, 17th, a little over 2 weeks. I didn't plan on Monday, but outside of that, we've been sitting. And I know there are areas of the country that are much worse shape than we are. And I know there are other areas of the country that are way too dry. I get it. I'm sorry. You know what I can do? I can just react to what my conditions are here. Wisconsin, South Dakota, good for you guys. That's the 9R running this season. 9R's running good. Fingers crossed, right? That very first day it did a regen and threw the coat. Has not done it since. Now I haven't run it a ton. I have not seen it do a regen since that first day, but Dad's been running it. He said he has not had a derate or thrown that coat one time on him. So I think burning that filter out may have solved our issues, which is awesome. Yeah, all is good. It seems to be running really well. Doesn't mean I don't want to replace it, but it seems to be running well. Good afternoon. Had a tornado in West Michigan. Did you? I had not heard much about tornadoes. I was kind of wondering. They talked potential. We talked about hail. We never got any of it. I was meaning to go onto the local news channel state pages that were making post after post after post, live videos and all kinds of stuff all day yesterday, telling us how terrible it was going to be, and say, hey, what happened? What do you got to say for yourselves now? Because it happens frequently where it's almost a boy who cried wolf type of situation. They get you all hyped up and think it's going to be something serious, and then nothing happens. I get it, right? They got to warn people. That's their job. But you do that so many times and people stop listening to you. Howdy from Alberta. Hello. How are we doing? We're doing well, man. Getting some stuff done today and it feels good. It should have been done planned with all the equipment you've got. A few acres. You have to stay off YouTube and do all that stuff. You'll be done. Don't want to hear you cry, cry, cry. Well, James, you're in the wrong spot to not listen to me cry, because I'm going to whine and cry all I want. That's what I get to do on my YouTube channel, and if you don't like it, you can leave. But thanks anyway. I appreciate your comments. You're helping my algorithm and showing my videos to more people. So thanks, dude. It's been raining. I don't know what you want me to say. It's not like we've been sitting around on our hands not doing anything. I YouTube while I'm farming, so it's not like I shut it down to go YouTube. So that isn't slowing me down. And it's been wet. Nothing I can do about it. And while we do have pretty nice equipment, it is not overpowered or excessive or even what most people would have for an operation our size. I can make the argument that we're underpowered. So, you know, whatever. Any plans on adding a second 360 rain unit? Not in the near future, no. You know, those things are not cheap. We spent a lot of money on that, well and everything else. Infrastructure for it, so we're going to make this one work. We're going to run it for a couple of years, get our understanding of how everything works, and then the trick to that is finding another field with the water supply and the right setup for that. We have other fields that could use some irrigation, but it probably makes more sense to run a pivot. And given the shape of the field and everything, pivots are probably more reasonably priced and cheaper. In the field where we are running the rain, where we need the irrigation the most, that's not the case. That field is not set up well for a pivot. It's not shaped well for a pivot. The rain unit is much more efficient. It was cheaper than what the pivot set up to cover 80% of that field would have been. So we had to run two pivots. You had to bury a lot of pipe, a lot of electric wire and everything. It would have cost a lot to do the pivots, where one rain machine covers the whole field cheaper and more efficient. So we are right now in the spot that we kept checking the last couple of days. It was too wet and too dewy. That shovel full is right there. So this spot may be a little wet, really shallow. We'll clear up just a little bit. We don't need to dig real deep. We've still got lots of dust. It's without heat and stuff. It's a little wet sometimes. Most of this field is worked up really nice, but you can definitely find a couple little spots that are a little better. It's a lot harder to track the water down. Planter. Farmman Bike Couple Michigan 124 meter. Yeah, I've seen that. It's a 22-inch planter on 72 road, 22-inch, 124 wide. It's crazy. They plant a lot of sugar beets, I think. So there's a guy not too far from here that's running a 90-foot DB90 that's on 20-inch rows. It's a 54-row planter. Farmman Mike's filmed that one too. We farm right next to that. Find a herbicide that works on pumpkin patch. I'll be interested to know. Yeah, I've done a little research. There's some stuff you can put on pre-plant or pre-emerge, which technically we're too late for that now, but dual is something that could be used on pumpkins. And I'm thinking about going and kind of spraying between the plants right now. I have to be really careful not to drift any, but covering the bare ground so that it keeps the weeds down later in the season and help out. Yeah, Yeah, we'll see. Our test planter sprayer. Almost. He's down to, I think he had one more load of corn to spray, maybe two. So not much. Maybe tomorrow he'll be able to spray corn, and then come down here to Berkey and try and follow the planter real close. Get almost done and switch back to beans and spray beans. Would have been nice to get that last 36 acres of corn of Waldron planted so we could spray that before we came down here. Didn't get it done, so we'll have to wait and spray it up. Can you explain a little more about the brand of building that you're putting up, K-frame or something like that? The economical shop. Yeah, so that building that we're putting up, it's a K building. Elgin Service Center is dealer and they're a manufacturer as well. So they're made right here in Ohio. Really like that system. It's a hybrid steel truss with wood purlins. So every 15 foot, it's got the steel trusses, and then they use wood purlins in between those on the roof every 2 foot, and on the sidewalls, so it's attached to steel too, so that holds everything in place. Super strong. You get the vaulted ceiling, so you don't have a flat ceiling inside. It's on the pitch, and we really like those buildings. We put the first one up back in 2000. That gray shed in the back we used for straw, and then my seed warehouse is one of them as well. And then when we added on to that barn in the back, we went with the same frame, and now for our tillage equipment and fertilizer storage, we decided to go with the same company. When I built my seed warehouse, I priced a wood pole barn, trusses, floor, flat roof, same basic dimensions. I think so. My seed warehouse is a 70 by 90 with a 20 by 45 lean-to on it. I think when I priced that, it was like 72 by 92 maybe, or it was basically the same size, but it was in 4-foot increments instead of 15-foot increments, 10-foot widths, and the K building was significantly cheaper, like $30,000-$40,000 cheaper at the time. I don't know if that's still the case. We hadn't priced a wood frame building for a while. We tried to get prices from a couple of wood building builders, Waldron and Wicks, for this building that we're putting up now, and they wouldn't give us a price. They basically said, we can't do that. I don't know why. It wasn't that hard. But we did not want wood posts in the ground. We wanted it on a concrete wall, and we had told them that we were going to put fertilizer in it. Maybe we shouldn't have never said anything about that, but we told them that was our intention, and they said, no, we're going to do that. Okay. So we went with the K building, and I know steel and fertilizer don't get along, but it'll work. It'll be fine. So yeah, as far as the shop, our shop is not a K building. I am working on finishing the inside of my seed warehouse. It's fine. They do have a liner package and stuff that would be a lot easier when putting the building up from the very beginning. If you watch Brian and Brian's farming videos, they just put up an awesome shop here a year ago. It is a K building, so yeah, they do make good shops. I'll look on the pumpkins. Some of them are struggling, but we're going to be okay, I think. So, last year my wife planted all the seeds in the hills out in the garden, right? Just direct seeded right into the garden. And a lot of them didn't come up very good. We had poor emergence, really struggled to get them out of the ground. So this year she thought, I'm going to start all my seeds indoors, and then we'll go plant them outside when the weather's nice, right? And get them started a little bit earlier. So she bought one of those Jiffy little seed starter greenhouse tray things. It comes with 36 of those little pellets in it, plant starting pellets. She started those and realized that she needed more, so we bought another 36. She planted those like a week or two later. Well, the first ones they came up really nice, were growing good, but they got sort of lengthy and stretched out a little bit more than you would like to see. So we got them planted quick, and some of the stems were a little weak. I think some of them broke in the wind and stuff, but most of them are going to survive. As soon as they start lining out, putting some auxiliary roots down, they'll be fine. But they're struggling a little bit. The second planted ones a week later, they were just opening up the cotyledons last weekend when we got them planted, and they look fantastic. They're doing awesome. But we had so many of these pumpkins that not only did we plant in the same area that we did last year, put a bunch there, we went across the road to where the corn plot is and planted the end rows for quite a bit of them. So we have double the amount of pumpkins that we had last year, basically. I mean, I may have spaced them out a little more. There's a bunch. Yesterday, when we were walking them and looking a little bit, we all of a sudden got cucumber beetles on the leaves real bad. The ones that were planted in the same spot that we had pumpkins last year. I think the cucumber beetles hatched this first 80-degree day, where they pupated or whatever, and came out and started feeding, and they decimated some of those plants. So we got some insecticide put on them real quick last night. Hopefully that fixes that, but I think the pumpkins on pumpkins are going to struggle a little bit this year. I'm glad we planted some across the road and have a new patch. So let's see how it goes. Anyway, we're going to have a lot of pumpkins this fall. There's going to be a lot of different kinds. That's the outlook. What do you guys do anything for your bids yourselves? Or is the rest of the work not the contractor? As far as I know, the contractors are doing it all. I don't believe that we are planning on doing much. No, we'll probably be around. Phil especially will help with installing some of that stuff. We may put the floors and the unloads in. We're not doing the construction. We're not putting things together. It's just kind of a time thing. I don't know if we have the time. We could probably do that. But it's all part of the quote or whatever that we got was the total construction. So I'll let them do it. Using auto turn today. I'm not. You know what? I don't know if I can do auto turn with this tractor and this monitor. No, it does not. So in the 9R here, we run a 4240 display. So it's an older one, and it's the smaller size. It's a 4240, not the 4640. So it does auto steer. It was pretty reasonably priced when we bought it. It's got permanent auto track activation. It's great in a tillage track. A little bit smaller screen, which I like the bigger screen, but I don't need it for this. But it does not do auto track turn automation. So we'll have to see about it. The corn planter, we could get it set up in this field. These are nice big square fields, easy ones to set up turn automation. It's just such a novelty. Like, I can turn the tractor, it's not that hard. And frankly, I can do it better than it can, unless I do a better job of setting it up. No Brock today. Nah, he was gonna come, but I told him not to because it was gonna rain. We were supposed to be rained out today. So I didn't have him come, and then we didn't get the rain, and Dad was available, so he's running the disc. I just want to get this one field planted. Our other fields that are going to corn down here, they're like 4 miles from here, and they caught more rain the other night. So I don't know that they would go today anyway. So we didn't really need Brock, so I just left that today off. He was doing the field work in the last video. Yes, he was. Yes, sir. Got our DBA 30-inch up to 11.3. Yeah, that's crazy. Yep, you can cover some ground going fast with an 80-foot planter. Can you improve the audio? Is it bad? Can you guys not hear me? I asked. The answer. You can't hear me. I got my earbuds in. I can take them off. Let's see if that's better. Alright. Hold on a second. I thought this would be better than not having to eliminate the background noise. Is that better? Can you guys hear me better now? Let's see where we at. Joel Kennedy's comment from 4:12. It's 4:19. So I'm 7 minutes behind. I'm gonna jump ahead. Tell me how the audio is. Just engine noise. No, it was fine. Okay, is it any better now? Or is it worse? I can put it back in. Audio's fine either way. Alright. We're gonna go back up here. Saw Brian post on Instagram spraying wheat with their drone. Must be illegal now. Able to show it. Yeah, he must have got his licenses and everything in place. I don't know. I have not gotten my 137 exemption yet, so I won't be flying it until I do, and hopefully we get it before fungicide season, otherwise I gotta find another option out. There are some workarounds for not having that 137 exemption. It's a pain in the butt, but you can fly under somebody else, but they have to have direct supervision, they have to do all your billing and all that stuff, but I'm not doing any custom hire stuff, so I don't need them to do any billing. It's kind of a whole thing. Hopefully we get our exemption in plenty of time and it's not an issue. We got at least 2 months here. Yeah, probably 2 months. June, July, yeah. It's working up really nice. Alright, home comments. Thank you for documenting everything. Watch a bunch of Waldron videos over the winter. Documents to buy a 1,000-gallon cold cart 2x2 single disc openers for my 6-year-old tank. Nice. I ran that. Set up for a long time. It works good for me. Go from the Netherlands. Happy with the second channel. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, we have a second channel that my mom and I started. It's a cooking channel, Baking Bakers, and it's going pretty well. I mean, we're having fun doing it. It's added a little bit of workload to me, but it's not terrible. It was really nice at the start. We had a bunch of stuff kind of pre-recorded, and I just posted them. And then we ran out of content. There was a couple last-minute ones in there, and we missed 1 week, and it is what it is. Hopefully this summer I'll be able to get some more stuff outside on the grill and the smoker. And we got our strawberry jam coming up, and sweet corn this summer, so I'm enjoying it. I wish it would have taken off a little bit more than it did. I got my 1,000 subscribers, but we're nowhere close to getting the required watch time to monetize that channel, so we'll see if it continues to build or not. It is what it is. It's no big deal. But yeah, I'm happy with it. Do you have electric in the new fertilizer shed or no need? We don't have any plans to run electric out there, but it would not be hard to do so. I don't know. I mean, we could jump across the driveway from the bin where we've got electrical already if we just need an outlet or a light or something and not run a whole panel out there. But yeah, I don't know what we'll do. Where's your Berkey buddy? Any rides this year? Yeah, I don't know. I saw his dad and sister outside. They were across the road from where I was discing earlier. But I didn't see him. Now, I assume he was in school. So we'll see if we see him this spring here or not. It's all going to beans, so I might not be around it. Audio's fine. No difference. It's about the same. Okay. I can't do anything about the background noise. Spring is the first since you've started that I haven't been able to keep up with the videos. Sorry. Today, I think, is the first time we've both been in the tractor at the same time. Nice. Well, it could be. For the turn automation, click on turn size, then go to equipment settings, turn your minimum turn radius down. Drastically improve the turn. Okay, that's a good thing to try. I will work on that. What I noticed when I was running it a little bit the other day with the planter is it wasn't going wide enough and the planter wasn't getting over far enough. So my end-rows were overlapping until they came back apart as we got into the field. So I didn't like that. I can't turn that great all the time either, but I can do better than that. Hit the thumbs up. Yeah, please. Like the video for me. Did you get everything sold, or is there still listings on Facebook? The irrigation pump. I think I've taken all the listings down at this point. The one grain bin's still pending until this guy comes and picks it up and pays for it, but no, I still have an irrigation pump. I have not sold that. It would be nice to do it, but I haven't really actively tried. And I think I have some GPS equipment that I need to sell. I've got a 2630 and a 3000 receiver that I'm no longer using. So I might list those at some point here. I've done pretty good selling stuff on Facebook though. I mean, those bins went quick. Got that old forklift sold. Sold a bunch of stuff over the last couple of years. It's been pretty good. I've been enjoying your cooking channel. Thank you. Garlic cheese bread is my favorite so far, but I haven't tried so many of them yet. Good. Glad you like that one. I will be the first to admit that sometimes my mom cooks a lot of things that I would not eat. Stuffed mushrooms, I'm out on that. But most of it's been really good. Just got back from the tractor club show here in Erie. Glad I can guess that show. Still wet, so it's rain on Wednesday night and early Thursday, Friday, or by Findlay, Ohio. I heard that. I talked to my sales rep Tony the other day, and he was asking how much rain we had when we had the 3/10 up in Waldron, and he told me he heard anywhere from a half inch to 2 inches. And we missed it, so we've been pretty fortunate this week. It's just things have dried slow. It's been hot yesterday and today, that helps. Tomorrow's supposed to be fairly warm, and then it's going to get cold, so we'll see how that affects things. Are you going to do another marathon this year, or was last year enough fun? I don't know, she hasn't said anything about that. We'll see. It was a half, but yeah, she did a great job. That was in the fall though, wasn't it? Down in Columbus, I'm pretty sure. 9R still giving fits. Nope. So far, 9R has been running really good this spring. Haven't really had any issues with it other than that first day. It seems to have fixed itself, so that's a good thing. They're doing all right. It's AU baseball, and AU baseball it's rough to watch sometimes, but they're definitely getting better. In AU baseball, so it's coach pitch, but if you have a infield that can field the ball and throw it to first base and a first baseman that can catch, you will win every game. That's all it takes. The first game was really rough. Could not make an out at first base to save our lives there, it seemed like. But last couple have gotten quite a bit better. They've had 4 games now. I think they're 2-2 overall. And yeah, they last night had a game. They played a team that was undefeated and they beat them. So that was good. And we're getting into lower scoring games. It used to be the first game I think was like 16-11 or something. I mean, they're just high scoring games. Last night was 6-3, so that's good. The boys are getting better, hitting the ball, getting on base. Grayson's been making some really good plays in the field. He had a nice catch in the outfield the other night, I heard. I missed that game, but played a little bit of second base last night, had a good field and throw to first base to get it out, so he's doing well. And Ryland's playing really well as well. Hasn't gotten a chance to play in the infield yet. I hope he does. He's trying really hard. His problem is that he gets distracted, and it's hard for him to keep paying attention. And I told him, I said, look, you got to act like you want to be there, you got to pay attention, you got to play hard the whole time. If you keep doing that, your coaches will see it and give you a chance. And he's tried really hard. He's done a good job. Now, I haven't been at his practices, so I don't know about how he's doing there. But I'm trying, and I'm going to not be the parent that goes and complains to their kid's coach about playing time. Like, parents suck, right? I was a coach for a while. I know how this works. And so I told him, this is how you earn it. And I just hope that his coaches pay attention. I also know as a coach, it's really easy to, once you're in a routine, everybody's in their spots, you just leave them there because it's easy. Hopefully he gets a chance to move around a little bit, though. Hello from New Jersey. Tried the meatloaf the way you make. Not the most healthiest way to make it, but it was tasty. I never said anything about healthy. It's good though. It's really good. What's not healthy about it? It's got ground beef, ketchup, oatmeal. That's healthy. A little bit of onion, some seasoning. What else do we got in there? Potatoes. I mean, what? It's meat and potatoes. That's healthy. Going to Farm Progress Show this year. I don't know. I have not made that plan. I suppose it could be done. I've only been out to that show once. I think it's in Illinois this year, so I would love to go. But I don't know. Should do some sort of meetup. I'd go 3 hours to come visit on my motorcycle. Well, we'll see. could be done. Too bad you told Brock to stay home today. He's a good man, good work ethic. That's a big kick out of him when you tease him. Yeah. I was really hoping yesterday I would be here and he would be working across the road. I was going to do this live stream yesterday with both of us together, but that didn't work out. So it's all right. We didn't really need him today. Hopefully he'll be around some either this weekend or Monday. Which truck do you prefer to drive, your Ram or the Chevy your buddy let you use? That Chevy's awfully nice. It is more fun to drive, I suppose, but I did not drive that truck. Other than the day that I got it and the day that I took it back, I did not drive it without the trailer hooked up to it one time. I didn't unhook it the whole time I had it. I don't know that I would want to use that for a daily driver for going everywhere, but it's certainly a better work truck, right? So, I don't know. I still want to upgrade my Chevy and get something a little bit nicer, because not that I need it all year, but there are times throughout the year when I could use a better truck for pulling that trailer. June here, when we're picking up empty boxes, is going to be one of those times. Now my Chevy is capable, they don't weigh anything, so it's not a big deal, but it would be nice to have a nicer truck. And that Chevy's, it's 2012, it's 13 years old, it's got 225,000 miles on it. It doesn't owe me anything, it's paid its dues, and I should be able to upgrade that if I want to, right? But I do really like the Ram. It's a super nice truck. I like having a half-ton truck for just cruising around and doing most of my daily driving stuff where I don't really need to haul anything, or not heavy work at least. You know, like today I brought it down here. I got my plot seat in the back of it to get that down here, so I can do that. But it gets better mileage, it's more comfortable. That's nice. Planning to continue to lease the truck for the seed business, or looking to buy? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Seed business stuff has changed a little bit for next year. I mentioned it a little bit, I think, a while ago, but Golden Harvest has done away with this GHX model that I just switched to, and the guy that I was warehousing was under the GHX model. So I think we're still going to work together next year. I think he still needs me to do that, but that's probably not a long-term agreement, which makes it harder to make big investments. Well, like I said, my truck's old. It can still be upgraded. I can justify it. Brock put a ring on it yet? No, he did not. Yeah, we'll let Brock tell you. You're gonna use the old trailer for boxes and pallet return. Take your drone stuff off the new trailer. I'll take the drone stuff off the new trailer. I can get so many more on there because it's a longer trailer, so I can put 24 empties on. And with as many as I've got to get, we need to do as many on a load as possible. That was part of the deal with the drone stuff, is like it's all super easy to take on and off, right? It's just a couple of shuttles. No big deal. How's the new fertilizer barn coming along? Good. They were there this morning when I left, but all the side sheet metal is on. They still had to put the roof on. I assume they're working on that today, but I don't know that. So we'll see when we get home what it looks like. Well, it was funny when you hinted that Brock he should buy the Dr. Pepper. Yeah. He drinks a lot of it. I can't. So I won't drink a pop. Like, I won't drink any caffeine after about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Otherwise, I won't sleep that night. Brock will grab one at 5 o'clock, and I'm like, dude, that's my Dr. Pepper, and they're expensive, and you can't sleep tonight if you drink that, right? He's still young. Apparently, I'm old now. I used to be able to do that, but no more. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's a fringe benefit of working for us. Every now and then he breaks a case, and it's fine. You're not the only one with those power steps having an issue. I know at least 8 other people with the same issue you're having. Great, yeah. Yeah, we still got to get that fixed. Biggest factor that contributes to high yield soybeans consistently over the entire farm, irrigated and dry. Well, I don't know any irrigated beans, or at least I haven't really much. The biggest factor is planting early. Without a doubt, the earlier you plant your beans, the higher they're going to yield. I believe that totally. I fully expect this fall, when we see that we have a 17-day, 16-day gap in soybean planting window, it is 17 or 18 days, I expect no less than a 10 bushel difference in yield, maybe closer to 20. Sucks, and I could be wrong, weather dependent, but that's what I've seen the last few years. The earlier we get our beans planted, the better they yield. There's no single thing you can control more than getting your beans planted early. There's still several guys around here, lots of guys that will plant all their corn first, and I think that's a mistake. I know some operations aren't big enough to justify it, but if you are big enough to justify 2 planters and have the manpower to keep them both running at the same time, you cannot afford to plant corn and then go and plant beans. If you're going to do that, plant all your beans first and then go plant your corn. It's just, that is such a huge factor, and it's probably more significant the farther north that you go. And yeah, like as you go south, you have a longer growing season and your day length isn't as drastic, but as you come north, the days are so much longer early in the growing season than they are late in the growing season. You have to capture that sunlight, you have to. And so we have to get our beans planted where they're up and there's leaves out there in June to soak up sunshine. If you can't do that, you're not going to have good beans. So, yeah. Didn't realize GH went away from GHX model, so you're just going back to the old normal seed sale model. Yes, that is the plan. We'll learn more about it this summer. I hear they're going to tweak and modify some stuff, combine them a little bit, but it won't be the per acre pricing, and some of the stuff that we had that was unique to GHX has gone away. Headed west, hopefully good weather, all is going well. Good. Where's west? Clockworks EMS, they can slam a monster and go right to bed. Yeah, I suppose that's probably true. I don't know. Wheat looking good with them now, despite being a bit like, yes, our wheat looks fantastic. So we had great wheat last year. Like some of the best wheat we've ever had last year. Our wheat looks as good this year. I don't know if it will be as good. We've got a lot of weather to go yet. But we've had great weather for the wheat this spring. We've had rain. We've had cooler temperatures. It's just been perfect. Once we got that nitrogen on, it was a little late, but man, that wheat took off. And it's looked really, really good since. We put some fungicide on. We put a little boron on, trying to protect stuff. And I think we're in good shape. The wheat's going to head out probably next week. We'll get another fungicide pass put on, get our Mirabis Ace put on for the head scab, and it should be great. I don't think it's going to be quite as early as last year, but we'll see. We'll see about double crop beans after we start getting into combine wheat. But yeah, it looks good. One thing that we started doing the last couple of years that's a little bit different is we have been doing the fall herbicide application, putting Tylenol on in the fall. Dad and I both think that that is making a tremendous difference in keeping the winter annuals out. All those weeds that we used to have growing with the wheat through the fall and the winter, and you think, well, the wheat's not really growing now, we'll clean them up in the spring before the wheat starts taking off and it'll be fine. Yeah, but it's not fun. I think they're competing with that wheat, they're robbing it of nutrients, they're really slowing wheat down, and by controlling those weeds in the fall, it's getting our wheat off to a much, much better start. I think that's key to what we're doing, so that's been a big upgrade. Does the drone push a new sprayer back on the upgrade list? Push it down the list, you mean? A little bit. I still want to upgrade the sprayer, but it's probably not the top priority anymore. We probably won't go to a Haggy, but we'll see. I kind of want to get through this year with the drone and see how everything goes. Assuming it goes well, then yeah, sprayer's not the top of the priority list, and a Haggy is definitely not the top of the priority list. If things don't go well, then we're going to be right back to needing to upgrade a sprayer. It just rained here in Sylvania, Ohio. Maybe over there, but I'm in Sylvania and it didn't rain here. So we're going to keep her moving. Yeah, there's definitely a few dark clouds around, but I do see more dust clouds from tractors in the field. Now, two of those are ours right down the road, but there's another one over there, so the neighbor's out working too. I don't know if that's because we got them all riled up or what, but there's more activity happening. We've almost made it over to our houses here. We'll go a little while yet, but we're going to have to wrap this one up right about an hour, I suppose. All right, what products have you used the last couple of years that's worked for you? For example, in furrow, I've heard that in furrow on soybeans helps a lot to get the plant to a strong start. So if you're talking in furrow specifically, I have not done much of that on beans. I tried a little bit this year. We'll see how it works. We'll watch those throughout the year. But as far as other products in general in corn or in furrow on corn, I'm using that season pass from the Andersons. It seems to work pretty well. I have more placement issues than I've had product issues, so that makes it a little hard to evaluate. Yeah, I don't know. I think the source that I've been using is working well. Now that's not an in-furrow product, that's a foliar, but a lot of times the basic stuff is right, man. Just get the basic stuff right first. You gotta have your pHs right, you gotta have your soil test levels right, you gotta get your phosphorus and your potassium, especially the potassium levels in the soil where they need to be. And as long as you've got enough zinc, boron, sulfur is a big one that you're putting on in season, whether that's through your starter or some foliar stuff. I can't sit here and tell you that any foliar product has been some kind of silver bullet, because it just hasn't been. So, I don't know. It's not that simple for me to just sit here and say, use this product and everything will be better. Planning to stay with anhydrous for the foreseeable future, still considering 28? Probably. Probably sticking with anhydrous. Our new supplier last year did a great job. I'm assuming they'll do a great job again this year. Anhydrous is just so much cheaper, so much easier to handle, and it works. It's a better form of nitrogen for the plants, but it does have its drawbacks with, the hazard of applying it, and, it's not great for the soil biology, although anhydrous has been proven to kind of create a dead zone right by where that band goes in the soil briefly, but several weeks later, all of a sudden there is an explosion of microbial life because of all the nitrogen available there. So it's a good and bad at the same time kind of thing. And I don't think it's as bad as people think, but yeah, it works. And it works well for our operation. I would still love to get to a 24-row applicator, a match planter. That's going to be really, really hard to do with anhydrous. You'd have to go to a 9R or something to pull it. And we don't have that tractor. I don't know if we want to do that. That would be pretty easy to do at 28. But then you got to handle it. How do we handle that kind of volume? I just don't know. So we'll see. We're probably sticking with the anhydrous for the foreseeable future. And you pump 28 through the 360 rain and skip the late season wide drop pass. Well, I don't wide drop the rain field anyway because I do put nitrogen through it. Yeah, absolutely. Part of me is considering starting that rain machine up really soon just so I can start putting fertilizer on through it. And I'm trying to figure out if I need to upgrade my fertilizer pump or not. But yeah, we can do that. Heading through Michigan, heading to the west coast. Gotcha. We're east of you by the expressway. Oh, okay. Over by 475 across the rain. That's like 4 or 5 miles east of here. When you you talk to a farmer about beans before corn or corn before beans, it becomes obvious who understands the changing mentality of farming. Yeah, that's true. I will give you that. Beans are a lot tougher than people think they are. And the treatments that we put on them now, you can plant them early and you'll be just fine. Got another product on your mind to try instead of seed firmers? You tried this year, back to square one. Research on different options. Honestly, here's what I'm thinking is going to happen. So this is my third year running that planter, right? Year one, we ran those John Deere drop tubes that came on the planter, and I wasn't thrilled with them because I thought I was getting fertilizer building up on my closing wheels, and we did a little bit. And then last year, I tried some top secret John Deere experimental stuff that's never going to see the light of day, but I probably still can't talk about. And they were a slight improvement, but not much of an improvement. And so we took those off this year and went back to where we went to these flow-right seed firmers, thinking that that was going to be the answer, and they're garbage. Like, those are just absolute terrible design. And I didn't see it when I put them on. I didn't understand that. But as soon as I put them in the field, you could tell this wasn't going to work. And so I started switching back to those original John Deere drop tubes. And you know what I'm finding? Boy, the fertilizer buildup on my closing wheel wasn't so bad with those. Like, yeah, it gets a little bit on them, but it's minimal. It's really minimal compared to what I'm getting now with these firmers. And so the cheapest and easiest option is for me to just put those back on and say, yep, this works good enough. I'm happy with it. The more expensive option is to keep looking. And there's 3 products that I haven't tried yet that I'm willing to try. One of them would be going to the Keaton seed firmer. But again, the problem with those is you have to push your closing wheels back. There's an extension bracket you have to put in there, and I don't like that. But I understand why now, looking at these flow-right seed firmers. It's because the firmer tail is in the middle of the closing wheels. There's no way in heck that fertilizer is going to get on the seed when you're already closing the trench where the fertilizer's going. It's not even possible. It can't be done. That was never going to work. The other option is from Precision is their furrow jets, which can or cannot come with a seed firmer, but it's a better way to apply the fertilizer side of it. The problem is they're super expensive, and I know guys have had issues with rocks with those as well, and I don't know how much of a problem they would be for me. In fact, I have a neighbor who, my handy guy, he took them off of his planter because he didn't like them. So that makes me very hesitant there to run those. The third option that I haven't tried yet is there's a company that makes they're called Why Nots or a rebounder, I think, Schaefer's. They make this like, it's almost like a seed tab from a drill where it goes right behind the brush belt, and it's just a plastic tab that hangs down right behind that belt, and the liquid goes down that, and they usually put a Y on it to split it to both sides of the seed instead of dropping it right on the seed. That's probably the one I would be the most likely to try. It's also probably the cheapest. But it gets the fertilizer way ahead of the closing wheels right after the seed, but not in front of the seed. I just don't know if it's necessary. I'm thinking these John Deere drops are going to be the answer. We're just going to go back to them and run them. Why don't you use turn automation in that tractor? Well, because I'm running a 4240 display and it does not have turn automation on it. Yeah, it does not have turn automation. If I had a different display in here, it would be possible. But guys, turn automation is cool. It's awesome. We can do that. But turn the steering wheel. It's not hard. I don't know. I find turn automation to be a novelty. Like, it's a cool thing to put on YouTube and show people that we have it and we can do it. But I would not pay a dime more to have turn automation on my tractor. It just doesn't do anything for me. John Deere developed it because it's a step towards autonomy, right? In order to have an autonomous tractor, it has to be able to turn itself. In order to perfect the machine learning and the AI and everything else that they need to make an autonomous tractor turn itself, you put turn automation in tractors and let people play with it. mess with it, and you figure out what you got to do to make that happen. This turn automation is strictly there, not strictly, it's mostly there to help John Deere figure out how to make a tractor turn itself for an autonomous tractor. That's why they have it. And that's fine. But I can turn this tractor better than it can. And it's not worth the time and hassle to get it all set up. We might play with it in the corn planter some more, but I don't need it. I will have pivot irrigated beans next year. I'm thinking about doing a 3.8 to 4.0 to try and plant early instead of 2 something. Still plant early. Is there a pro to either situation? Jeff, I'm trying to remember where you're at. I know you plant similar maturities to me, but maybe a little bit fuller season stuff. I don't recommend that if it's not in your maturity zone. So I'm going to have irrigated beans next year too, and I've tried doing some irrigated stuff in the past, and I've always had that thought of I'm going to plant my fullest season beans there because it gives me the longest window to run my irrigation in filled pots, right? And that is true. And there's still valid argument to doing that, but I will not go beyond my normal bean maturity. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think your beans will mature correctly. I don't think you will have any added yield benefits doing so. And frankly, from what I have seen over the last couple of years, I'm trending earlier and earlier on my bean maturity because if we can get them planted early, all of that yield is made early. And I know that's a stupid thing to say, right? How can you say that all the yield's made early when beans are made in July, in August? August rains make beans. Yes, August rains make beans. But if you don't have that plant infrastructure in place in June, you're not going to have good beans. Doesn't matter how much rain you get in August. Like, we have to get them planted early. So a group 2 bean for me, even an early 2.2 to 2.8 to 3.0 planted early, and by early I mean before the 1st of May, is going to be way better than a 3.2 or a 3.3 or even a 3.5 bean planted the 10th of May, Memorial Day weekend, into the first week of June. I also think that it's going to be better than a 3.3 bean planted in April. Now, that's iffy. It depends on the weather and stuff. I would rather plant my full season beans early as well. But I would rather plant a group 3 bean on Memorial Day weekend than I would a group 2 bean or a 2.2 or a 2.5. And that has everything to do with filling out those pods and giving the beans plenty of time. But I really think that if you can stick to a average maturity or earlier bean planted early, you have to get them planted early, even underwater, that's probably your best bet. So, I don't know. I don't have experience with irrigated beans. Find somebody that knows something more than me, but I don't know that trying to push your maturity. Like, for me to plant a group 4 bean underwater, I think would be a very bad mistake. Does the newer 2510 anhydrous bar pull easier than that old knife shank bar? Oh, 100% it does. Way easier. But I'm also pulling it faster, and it takes a lot of power to go fast. Need more Dr. Pepper. I don't need more Dr. Pepper now. It's almost 5 o'clock. I'll never sleep tonight. I could use some water because I've been talking for an hour. This bottle has been up here in this air conditioning duct for a very long time. I'm not sure whose it is. I don't know if it's mine or not. It's the only water in this cabinet. I'm about to drink it. What about dropping to a 12-row applicator to split planter passes? Yeah, that would be an option. In fact, my bar now would be able to, I'd be able to leave the wingtips folded up and run it as an 11 to do that. I don't know if I love that idea. I still have to be able to cover ground. If we were going to go to, 12-row or 13 shank applicators or 11 shank applicators, I think we'd have to run 2 of them to get everything done on time. Which I have a neighbor, one of my seed customers, they run a 24-row planter, that's what they do. They run 2 11 shank bars, and that's just how they get all their anhydrous on. So it would be an option. I don't know if we have the manpower for it. You guys had awesome wheat last year. Do you think it's due to extra fertilizer and nutrients applied, or just the right variety in the right ground? Weather mostly. It's mostly weather. Getting it planted on time and having good stands and good weather patterns. But we are managing our wheat pretty highly. Like we're putting fungicides on twice. This year we did not, but usually we split apply our nitrogen, all that kind of stuff that matters. It makes a difference. Corner over here was a little damp. We're gonna bust it open anyway. It'll be fine. There's still a lot of residue in this field. It was wheat last year. We did not bale the straw off of here. We had double crop beans, so then you get more residue from that. That holds moisture. It stays a little wet. I got rebounders this year for my 7,000. Going to start planting corn tomorrow. I'll let you know how they work before I had just drop tubes. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Now there's a big difference between your 7,000 and my ExactEmerge planter, but same concept, right? We run Keatons, don't have the brush belts. They attach behind the true V disc. Used to have the shape rebounders with white out splitter. Problem was they wore out in a year. Yeah, they might wear out faster. I don't know. And the Keatons, the way you have them set up, are great, right? I like those. We run Keatons on our bean planter. They have a nice bracket. They attach right behind the seed tube. They're great. On an ExactEmerge planter, you have to push the closing wheels back. I don't like that. I don't want to do that. I don't know. Might be the option. Who's building your bins? Elgin Service Center out of Pioneer, Ohio. Suka bins. I mean, they're where we bought them from. I don't know if they subbed out the building crew or not. I have no idea. What do you think of Nova Plus? Water-soluble foliar fertilizer originally designed for nitrogen fixing legumes and most crops. 064 sulfur, cobalt, molybdenum, zinc. I have no idea, man. It could be great. I have not found a foliar fertilizer that works. Just haven't. How's Anna? Anna's doing pretty well. I talked to her once last week, but just briefly. I should call her again and talk for a while. She's out in Iowa, doing well. Sounds like guys got planted pretty good out there. Things were sort of quiet. When everybody's working and busy, her job is quiet. When they're not, then she has fires to put out, basically. So, yeah, doing well. Started side dressing with 32 today in Nebraska. Nice. I see a couple of guys starting to side dress some corn around here. Not very much, but definitely some anhydrous tanks moving out. So a lot of guys are still doing pre-plant anhydrous. There's that. But I'm glad we didn't pre-plant any anhydrous. A lot of guys do that, and now it's probably okay. But if we would have pre-planted anhydrous, it would have been, April 20th, 22nd when we were trying to get out there before we planted corn. And then we've had 4 inches of rain since then. Well, that's not good for nitrogen. That's how you lose it. So I'm glad we didn't do any of that. Crop market's going to do this year? I have no idea, man. I have no idea what markets are going to do. They're not as bad as they were. They're not as good as they could be. You just got to have a solid marketing plan and stick to it. I don't know. The tariff situation hurts. Weather is going to play a factor. I think most of the country's gotten planted pretty well, so that's probably not a good start for the markets. But who knows? I try not to let that make too much of an impact on any of my farming decisions. Like, raise bushels, control your costs. Low-cost producer wins no matter what the market is, and it's low cost per bushel, not per acre. So do what you got to do to raise as many bushels as possible while being fiscally responsible. The markets will do what they do, and you take advantage of the rallies when you can. So that's my marketing strategy. That, and I let my uncle handle it. All right. Well, I'm caught up here. Hey, have you guys gone and gotten your Best RX t-shirts yet? Best RX doesn't come from a doctor. I thought it was clever. Go buy one. They've been out for almost a year now, so probably a lot of you have got them. Thank you for that. We got some other Border View Farms merchandise available. You can head to borderviewfarms.com, click on the shop tab, or you can go straight to Farm Focus's website, farmfocus.com/borderviewfarms. Support my channel, support Farm Focus. They're great people, and I appreciate that. So, also, if you haven't headed over to the Baking Bakers YouTube channel, checked out that stuff yet, do that for me, and subscribe to that channel. Check out our cooking stuff. It's cool. What else do we have to talk about? When are you going to upgrade the 9R? Well, I don't know. We've talked about it. All right, you want to go through the equipment upgrade list proposals? Here's where we're at with stuff, right? Our bean planter is pushing 13 years old, 14 years old, pushing 15 years old. It's a 2011. It's a nice planter. It's been great for us. It's getting some wear to it, and it can be rebuilt. But it has some hydraulic issues every now and then, although we got most of those fixed a year ago, I think. But I can't make it any bigger. And it would be really expensive to make it faster, if it's even possible. So, how do we plant beans faster? Well, we upgrade our bean planter. We could stick with a 40-foot bar and go exact emerge and go high speed, or we could go to a DB60, go to a 60-foot bar, gain some speed that way. It's on the list. Those are all things we're talking about. New DB60s, 36-row 20-inch planters are very expensive. There are some used ones around, some of them not too awful bad. I don't know. That's on the list. If we were to buy a DB60 bean planter, it probably necessitates a tractor upgrade. Hey, thanks, Adam. Appreciate you sticking around. Thanks for that super chat. Now, the two tractors that we use in the spring a lot, the 8R, the 8335R, and the 8430, are both getting a pile of hours on them, and it's time to upgrade them. Like, they're fine, right? You can run tractors with 5,000 or 6,000 hours on it, and that's okay. But to be the primary tractor that we were counting on to plant all of our beans, they're losing some reliability. Okay? Even regardless of a bean planter upgrade, we can afford to upgrade one of those tractors, or really kind of need to. So that's on the list. And then there's the sprayer that we've already talked about, and like our sprayer is also going on. It's a 2010 model. It's 15 years old already, going on 16 years old. So it'd be kind of nice to upgrade that, but it's relatively low hours for what it is. I'm gonna go through a wet spot here. Let's see if we can see. But there's a lot of new technology in the sprayer world that would be awfully nice to have. Exact apply, a few other things. Lift it up. Ooh, this looks better than I would have thought. Might have to go around that. Notice there's no dust all of a sudden. Just scratching the surface, opening it up. Pass along the side over there's going to be a thing. Anyway, so there's the sprayer. And then, oh yeah, there's this tractor, the 9R, that's given us some trouble over the last few years, but seems to be working good now. It's got over 4,000 hours on it. And we kept our last tractor, the one that this replaced, we kept for 10 years. We've had this one for 10 years now. So we have 4 major pieces of equipment that are pushing 10 to 15 years old or older that we need to upgrade. But it would take $2 million to do that. And we don't have that kind of money just sitting around for equipment upgrades. We've done some other stuff with this fertilizer barn, with the grain bin projects and stuff. So we've spent some money on other infrastructure that's not equipment. And it's trying to prioritize which one of those things is the top of that priority list. And some of the things that we tend to keep longer, it wouldn't be a horrible idea to upgrade those either. Like, we this field cultivator. It's 10, 12 years old too, and it's fine, but we'll get it better. It'd be really nice to upgrade that disc. I would love to do that. I mean, if you gave me $5 million tomorrow, I could spend it on equipment pretty easily. I'm not going to do that, but it could be done. So we're weighing our options. I think that a bean planter is at the top of that list. Whether there's a tractor in there in the next year or two or not, I don't know. Whether there's a sprayer in there, I don't know. But I mean, we're a big enough operation. We have enough cash flow that we're going to upgrade something, right? We're going to buy some equipment basically every year. It's just a matter of what and when. And I don't have those answers right now. Alright. 20 acres, not close to finishing. We're a little over 3,000 acres. We're down to 800 acres total to plant, 700 acres total. And I got like 300 of beans, or 300 of corn, and the rest is beans. You're going to try and get the corn planted that you were working yet today. Yes, that is the plan. Just about done working here. We're going to go get the planter loaded up. Got over here. When I started this field and for tomorrow's video, I said that I was hoping to be done and back here planting by 6 o'clock. It's a little after 5 now. I don't know if we're going to make that or not, but we're going to try. I got to load the planter up yet. B-Rad, Brad, thank you. Thank you for that Just Because Super Chat, $20. Really, really appreciate that, you guys. You don't have to do that, but I do appreciate it. Got rained out in Ohio. I'm sorry to hear that. Alright, we are down to another round to go. We're going to do some end-rows on the far side. Next time down, we're wrapping this field up, so we're going to wrap up the live stream here pretty quick too. Uncle ever drive corn planter? I think Joey would handle higher speed. Phil, so no. Phil has never driven a corn planter. I've never seen him plant corn since I can ever remember on the farm. He does the beans. He's always done the beans. It's just the way it is. We've always tended to have our jobs that we all do, and that's what we do. Phil plants the beans. Phil does the trucking. He used to do all the anhydrous, and I kind of took that over once I came back to the farm, so... or shortly after I came back to the farm, I guess. Yeah. 2 mil to upgrade tractors. That makes my head hurt. Yeah. Not 2 mil each. I'm saying for a bean planter, a tractor, and a sprayer, we're well over 2 mil. All of those things are $500,000 purchases. Depending on what you get. Can we buy a bean planter, used one cheaper than $500,000? Yes. 350, 400,000 probably. Can I replace this tractor for less than $500,000? Depends on what we get. Not for something significantly newer, low hour. Definitely not something on tracks or an RX. We could be looking at something upwards of $600,000-700,000 if we wanted to, even for a used one for that stuff. We won't spend that kind of money, but it's not hard to do it. To replace the 8R or the 8430, again, it depends on what you get, but you're probably looking at $450 minimum for a used tractor on wheels. If you want an RX, you're looking at $550,000 to $600,000. For a sprayer, totally depends on what you get and how new. A used sprayer, whether that's a 412R, a 612R, or a STS12 Haggy, low hour, you're probably looking at $550,000, $600,000, maybe $650,000. Yeah, it's all expensive. I mean, for a field cultivator, you're looking at $150,000. For a new high-speed disc, you're looking at $125,000 to $150,000. For, those are the things at the top of the list now. For what else? Corn head. We talked about going to a 12-row corn head, 12-row folding corn head. You're looking at $130,000 to do that. It's all expensive. All of it. My question would be, why not use the Rain 360 on other fields and see what yields? Because I think other fields suffer from lack of water. Just an experiment fields. Well, because we don't have the infrastructure on other fields. Several reasons. One, the field that it is in, it's in for a reason. It's the driest, droughtiest field that we have. It's the one that needs the water the most in the summer when we don't get rain. Two, it's the field with the shape to fit that kind of irrigation system versus, I guess I got another round of it. It's the one that we couldn't put pivots on effectively. Three, we've got a well there. We don't have water sources on any other fields. I can't just move this to another field and say, I'm going to drill a well here and spend another $50,000 to put a well down and the piping in to get it to where it needs to be to irrigate it for a year. Like, that's a long-term investment. You're not going to do that. Four, this thing is 60 feet wide, it's 16 feet tall, and it moves a half a mile an hour. It's not mobile. You cannot move it from field to field. I can move it across the road, but not 5 miles down the road to another field. So that's not how this works. It is designed to stay in that field. Now our irrigation that we had before, that traveling gun, the hard-nosed traveler, that was mobile. That I can pull down the road. We picked the pipe up and laid it down every year. I can go to different fields with that, and we did go to different fields with that. But I'm not doing it with a 360 grain. Hit the thumbs up, y'all. Thanks, guys. Is there a difference between regular disc versus high-speed disc? There is a difference, yes. Not many people are running what you would consider a traditional disc anymore. Those are pretty well non-existent, at least in my world. But there are still two different styles. There's what we call a vertical tillage disc, or a VT tool, like our Landau 7431, like a Deere 2660 VT, where it still looks like a disc. It's a long frame with disc gangs that are on an angle, usually an adjustable gang angle now, but they're a shallow concavity, they're a shallow gang angle, and you can pull them fast. A high-speed disc, or what people refer to as a high-speed disc, is really what we call a compact high-speed disc, and each blade is individually mounted. They're not on a gang, and they all have their own bearing, they're all on an angle. It's a really short frame. There's 2 rows, ranks right back to back, but they're in line, and you can pull them really fast, like 13, 14 miles an hour if you've got the power to do it. Personally, I don't care for that style. The little bit of experiments and looking that I've done behind those, I did not think they did a great job. I like the job that our 7431 Landau does. I really like the job that the 2660 VT does. I would love to get the opportunity to try one in our ground and to demo one. And we might make that happen someday. That's probably what I would look at to upgrade our disc, but it's hard to say at this point. I just don't know that the high speed or the compact high speed disc has any advantages over a 2660 or even the new 7531 Landau's, that you can adjust the gang angle. You can still pull them fast, right? Those are still 8 to 10 mile an hour tools, and you can cover ground fast. Whereas a traditional disc, like a 637 Deere, I think is the number, it's going to be a really concave blade. They're going to be a sharp gang angle, like an 18, 20 degree gang angle, and you pull them deep and you pull them slow, 5-6 miles an hour. They're designed to bury residue, cut stuff up. That's more of a primary tillage tool than a secondary thing, trying to get a seedbed ready. A lot of money talk. How's the kids doing in school? How is your daughter in school? Kids are doing well. They're in the final countdown here. They got like 2 weeks left, so they're ready to be done. But yeah, doing good. My daughter is not in school yet, maybe this fall. I don't know if she's going to go do some preschool a little bit. But Morelli, her birthday is tomorrow, so everybody in tomorrow's video, don't do it in this, because I won't be able to keep up with comments, but yeah, you can go wish her a happy birthday tomorrow. 3 years old, May 17th. So, I was in Toledo Hospital 3 years ago with my wife. She was born super early in the morning. I don't remember exactly what time. 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I left at like 4 a.m. to go finish planting corn that day. I was back before 7 or 8. I only had a little bit to do and it was going to rain and I needed to get it done, so I went and did it while everybody was still sleeping. Yeah. Anyway, we've got a birthday party tomorrow, so I don't know if I'm even working tomorrow. Alright guys, I'm going to end this one because now I have to actually drive, so actually content. What's a big trippy farmer got a 2660. Got rid of his handle, yeah. I think they're good tools, so. Thanks guys, appreciate all the comments and interaction. Thanks for those couple super chats, you guys are awesome. And there will be a video out tomorrow. We'll try and do another live stream when we're planting down here, not later today, but probably Sunday or Monday. Look for another live stream in the planter. And hopefully we miss the rain again tonight. We can get this stuff all done here at Berkey, get back to Waldron, wrap up the corn planting there by Monday. Get the anhydrous bar hooked up, and we'll start side dressing corn shortly thereafter, I suppose. We'll get the beans all planted here. Phil can get those wrapped up, and hopefully we'll get some more in up to Waldron. That ground is all still pretty wet. We've had more rain there this week, so it's just going to be a little while before it dries out, but it is what it is. Good to be making progress again. Thanks, everybody. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning, watch the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you tomorrow.